Hello friends, I am Nisha Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of English. The topic that we are going to discuss today is themes in Henrik Ibsen's play A Doll's House. Themes are the fundamental and often universal ideas explored in a literary work. Themes are overarching ideas, beliefs, and debating points a writer presents through his literary work. Ibsen's A Doll's House has themes that are not only relevant to that time but also interesting for the audiences. Some of the themes in A Doll's House have been discussed below. They are: first is the sacrificial role of women. In A Doll's House, Ibsen paints a bleak picture of the sacrificial role held by women of all economic classes in his society. In general, the play's female characters exemplify Nora's assertion, spoken to Torvald in Act 3, that even though men refuse to sacrifice their integrity, hundreds of thousands of women have. In order to support her mother and two brothers, Mrs. Christine found it necessary to abandon Croxter, her true but penniless love, and marry a richer man. The nanny had to abandon her own child to support herself by working as Nora's and then as Nora's children's caretaker. As she tells Nora, the nanny considers herself lucky to have found the job since she was a poor girl who had been led astray. Though Nora is economically advantaged in comparison to the play's other female characters, she nevertheless leads a difficult life because society dictates that Torvald be the marriage's dominant partner. Torvald issues decrees and condescends to Nora, and Nora must hide her loan from him because she knows Torvald could never accept the idea that his wife or any other woman had helped save his life. Furthermore, she must work in secret to pay off her loan because it is illegal for a woman to obtain a loan without her husband's permission. By motivating Nora's deception, the attitudes of Torvald and society leave Nora vulnerable to Krogstad's blackmail. Nora's abandonment of her children can also be interpreted as an act of self sacrifice. Despite Nora's great love for children, manifested by her interaction with them and her great fear of corrupting them, she chooses to leave them. Nora truly believes that the nanny will be a better mother and that leaving her children is in their best interest. Next theme is parental and filial obligations. Although Ibsen has not given children of Nora and Hammer any space in the play, it is also a thematic strand that runs parallel to the truth of marital love. Amy, Ivor, and Bobby show how parents are bringing them up and how they should be treated. Nora has a little time for them as she brings toys, but father never appears to have any time except for his financial career. However, in another way, he has time to call his wife with names such as little person, little woman, little songbird, and other such names reserved for children. This shows that both of them are bringing up their children as their possessions instead of human beings, which is proved wrong by the end. Nora, Torvald, and Dr. Rank each express the belief that a parent is obligated to be honest and upstanding because a parent's immorality is passed on to his or her children like a disease. In fact, Dr. Rank does have a disease that is the result of his father's depravity. Dr. Rank implies that his father's immorality, his many affairs with women, led him to contract a Wendell disease that he passed on to his son, causing Dr. Rank to suffer for his father's misdeeds. Torvald voices the idea that one's parents determine one's moral character when he tells Nora nearly all young criminals had lying mothers. He also refuses to allow Nora to interact with their children after he learns of her deceit for fear that she will corrupt them. The play shows that parents are responsible for bringing up their children with the right moral values. For example, Nora is accused of following her father's profligacy and money making drive. Dr. Ring seems to have inherited disease as well as moral flaws from his father. Torvald too holds this idea that parents determine the moral character of a child, as he states that Nora is with him that criminals always have mothers who lie in their lives. Yet the play suggests that children too are obligated to protect their parents. Nora recognized this obligation, but she ignored it, choosing to be with and sacrifice herself for her sick husband instead of her sick father. Mrs. Christine, on the other hand, abandoned her hopes of being with Croxton and undertook years of labor in order to tend to her sick mother. Ibsen does not pass judgment on either women's decision, but he does use the idea of a child's debt to her parent to demonstrate the complexity and reciprocal nature of familial obligations. Next is the unreliability of appearances. Over the course of a doll's house, appearances prove to be misleading veneers that mask the reality of the play's characters and situations. Our first impression of Nora, Torvald, and Krogstad are all eventually undercut. Nora initially seems a silly, childish woman, but as the play progresses, we see that she is intelligent, motivated, and by the play's conclusion, a strong willed, independent thinker. Towel, though he plays the part of the strong, benevolent husband, reveals himself to be cowardly, petty, and selfish when he fears that Croxted may expose him to be scandal. Croxted too reveals himself to be a much more sympathetic and merciful character than he first appears to be. The play's climax is largely a matter of resolving identity confusion. We see Krogstad as an earnest lover, Nora as an intelligent, brave woman, and Torvald as a simpering sad man. Love and marriage as a theme. As a play focused around the marriage between Nora and Torvald, A Doll's House can be seen as an exploration of love and marriage, or even more profoundly on whether there can be love in marriage. At the beginning of the play, Nora and Torvald appear to be very happily married, even to themselves. Nora talks joyfully about her love for Torvald, and Torvald refers to Nora using affectionate pet names. The use of pet names by them for each other shows the involvement of love as opposed to Christine's life. This marriage proves a contrast to the marriage of Christine and Croxter that happens by the end of the play, which shows that love and marriage are based on realistic expectations. When the reality of the deception of Nora dawns upon Torvald, he reveals the other side of human nature and immediately expels Nora from his life, while she is also ready to go away. On the other hand, Christine and Krogstad have never been in love with each other. Moreover, Dr. Heng too has loved Nora for years, though he has never married. Nora and Torvald show that their marriage is subject to social rules, conventions, and customs. When this rule is broken, the marriage stands cancelled. Croxted and Christine's marriage show that this is not always the case. Next is gender. A Doll's House exposes the restricted role of women during the time of its writing and the problems that arise from a drastic imbalance of power between men and women. Throughout the play, Nora is treated like a child by the other characters. Torvald calls her his pet and his property and implies that she is not smart or responsible enough to be trusted with money. Neither Krogstad nor Dr. Rank take her seriously, and money and work. A need for money affects all the major characters in a doll's house. In the beginning of the play, it is revealed that Torvald was recently promoted and will receive a big fat income. However, he still chastises Nora for spending too much, arguing that they need to be cautious financially. Christine is in desperate need of a job following the death of her husband, and after her replacement of Croxford at the end, deceit. At the beginning of the play, Nora appears to be a dutifully obedient and honest wife. However, it is quickly revealed that she is hiding a serious secret from him. The fact that she borrowed money from Croxter to finance a trip to Italy that she claims saved Orwell's life. This renders all her statements about never disobeying him or hiding anything from him deceitful. Individual and social fabric. This is one of the most important themes of the play. Most actions of an individual are in response to the society or community they live. Nora is a loyal wife and a dedicated mother, but she does not stick to the moral framework of society. She thinks it morally right to deceive her husband about her debt and forgery. Even suicidal thoughts are for her husband, who will ruin himself when protecting her later. Mrs. Christine Linde earns to be a caretaker and play the role of nurturer. She betrays Nora, which helps her see the true nature of Torvald. Also, Crockstead does not achieve happiness through any means but realizes by the end that he can achieve it through his reformation. He learns that a person must give proper respect to his personality if he wants to win the respect of others in society. Nora, a dutiful mother and wife, spends most of the play, putting others before herself. She thinks little of how her act of forgery and debt to Crockstead affect her personally, opting instead to worry about how they might impact the lives of her husband and children. Even when she plans to kill herself near the end of the play, it is not to hide her shame, but rather because she thinks that would be beneficial for her husband. Feminism. Nora as a character becomes prominent not only in the world of literature but also in the world of theatre. Her figure as a woman towers than those of men with whom she locks horns. She breaks Torval's traditional notion of women subservient to men. She still has to find future for herself and support her children when she decides to leave. However, what Torvald fails to understand the value of a woman and the reason for her death. Nora has secured a bright future for her children and also supported her husband, but she has failed to support her own position. It shows that patriarchal circle has still the same strength as it has before the start of the play. Femininity, though, tries to break this circle, it seems that it needs more than merely the thread to live as Nora does by the end of the play. However, she indeed stands in the shadow of her father whenever her husband has some praise for her, despite having decision making ability at critical junctures. Deception. Deception is another major theme of the play. Nora's action of borrowing debt and then forging her father's signature show that she has deceived her husband. Although Croxter blackmailed her several times on account of this forgery, she has never disclosed it to her husband. She then shares this deception to Mrs. Linde, who advises her that she should inform her husband. She believes that such marriages based on deceptions do not have a chance to succeed, and she proves right. Croxted also suffers from a bad reputation as he is with Nora in forging the signature of her father and using her a ploy to get a promotion. Therefore, such frauds and deceptions have been presented in the play as corrupting forces that only destroy the very foundations of the society but also ruin blissful married lives. Materialism. Materialism is an essential thematic strand that runs throughout the play. Stress upon money is the specific focus of the married couple, Nora and Torvald Hammer. Financial autonomy and success are the central points of Torvald's point of view about success, whether it is in marriage or business. His refusal to take cases that do not give him satisfaction is the primary reason for his financial success. Nora too thinks that by providing material comfort, she can win her husband as well as a married life. However, expectations of the material success of Nora and Torvald dash to the ground by the end of the play when they come to know the truth. The play shows that parents are responsible for bringing up their children with the right moral values. For example, Nora is accused of following her father's profligacy and money making drive. Dr. Rang seems to have inherited disease as well as moral flaws from his father. Torvald too holds the idea that his parents determine the moral character of a child, as he states when Nora is with him. Religion. Although religion does not directly appear in the play, it has some importance. For example, the events of the play occur around or on Christmas. While the events of the first act takes place in the evening, the second on the day of Christmas and the third on Boxing Day. The arrival of Christmas tree in the first act also shows this occasion. Secondly, there is much stress on the morality that is undoubtedly Christian morality. However, it is interesting that it has not been directly mentioned. Only Torvald accuses Nora of having no religion and that his father does not have any principle. Nora too admits by the end that she does not know the reality of the religion and that she is not sure about the clergy as well. Corruption. It is a minor theme but plays an important role in the progress of the play. Dr. Rank is an epitome of corruption and has inherited tuberculosis along with moral degradation from his father. In the same way, Torvald accuses Nora of inheriting moral ineptitude about money and financial matters from her father. In other words, it is suggested that such corruption, whether it is physical or moral, is a curse for the society. And the last is lies in life. Lies and their importance in social life is another minor theme. Nora is living in a delusional world that by lying to her husband, she can save her marriage. However, it dawns upon her by the end of the play that lies complicate and even sometimes destroy very strong relations. Her married life, which seems quite happy, was built on lies and comes to an end. Thank you.